Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the House of European Football here in Nyon, Switzerland for the 2024-25 UEFA Nations League knockout stage and playoff draw. So great to see so many national associations here, so many national teams represented here. Fantastic to have you along for the ride. I'm sure you'll agree that the fourth edition of the UEFA Nations League so far has been fantastic, with quality football and so many amazing goals scored across the stadiums in Europe. We're now entering the decisive phase of the competition, and of course we expect more of the same. We are nearly ready to unveil the roads to the finals for the 8 quarterfinalists and also reveal the playoff matchups as well. To help us do that, we are pleased to welcome on stage the UEFA Deputy General Secretary Giorgio Marchetti, who will oversee today's draw. Welcome, Giorgio. Welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So Europe's newest national team competition has once again delivered for players and for fans. Now it is in its fourth edition, and it continues to give the best players from every nation the chance to fight for promotion against teams of a similar strength. For fans, that means ever more competitive, closely fought matches and, above all, high drama. This week's final round of league stage matches delivered plenty of surprises. Each of them showed how the Nations League has inspired Europe's less heralded national teams to unprecedented success. Congratulations, by the way, to all the teams that won automatic promotion. And a special mark in this respect of recognition for San Marino, who sealed the promotion from Group D after their first ever victories in a UEFA competition. Thanks to the Nations League new format, there is plenty more excitement to come, with more than half of Europe's 55 national teams still involved. Today's draw will determine who plays who in the competition's first ever quarter-final stage next March, when the 8 League A group winners and the runners-up will come head-to-head. At stake will, of course, be a place in next June's final tournament and the chance to lift the Nations League trophy after the final. That's not all, however. We also find out the lineup for a new round of relegation promotion playoffs between second and third place teams in the 4 leagues. The playoffs will also take place in March. And to conduct the draw, I'm delighted to welcome our special guest, a former Swiss international who was capped 76 times for his national team and played in 2 Euro and 3 World Cup final tournaments.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome on stage Johan Djourou. Great to have you here. Johan, welcome. You had so much experience with the Swiss national team, as Giorgio mentioned, 76 caps. You retired just a little too early for the UEFA Nations League, unfortunately, but what have you made of the competition? Because I know you follow it closely.
I really love it, actually. I think it gives the chance to every team to play against equal strength. And I think that gives you the chance to win as well and to progress, to test yourself and to see where you can go from there. So I really like the format because it gives every team the chance to actually compete.
Now, I know you're actually coaching in the moment and focusing on women's football, but I have a question about coaches and the importance that they have with the national team when it comes to a tournament, because they have not much time, right, to get the message across to the players, to make sure the tactics are right. So how important is it to make the most out of those days when everybody's together, and the role of the coach in that?
Yeah, the time for a coach is very, very important, and we know that we always like to have more. But I think that those kind of tournaments gives you the chance as well to test yourself with young players, for example, to give the players that you see that may not ready yet to go to thinking of the Euro or the World Cup qualification, to give them a little bit of exposure to the international level. So I think it's a very good platform for a coach to test himself. But obviously, when you're playing in the highest league, you want to win, and it's a good test as well to have the best team possible available to play those games.
And of course, I wanted to put a little bit of pressure on you. You're used to that, facing some of the top strikers in the world when you were playing. But who are you picking maybe to shine in the next phase of the UEFA Nations League? Teams or players?
It's a good one. I think so many good nations, but I think Spain, it's one that is always stand out at the moment with Lamine Yamal, for example. I really enjoyed as well Victor Gyökeres from Sweden. I think he had a great impact. So, but when you look at those teams, I mean, it's so difficult to choose. They are all good, and it's always a pleasure to watch them play. So, but I will say those two.
Okay. Thanks for your insight. We're just about ready to start the draw, but of course we have to take a minute or so to have a look at the technical procedure.
Today's draw event, consisting of 4 independent draws, will determine the composition of the promotion relegation playoffs and the League A knockout stage of the UEFA Nations League 2024-25. The draw starts with the League C/D playoffs, which feature the 2 best-ranked 4th-place teams of League C facing the 2 runners-up of League D for a place in League C. The teams from the higher league, League C in this case, are seeded and form Pot 1 and are drawn against a team from League D, which are in Pot 2. The teams in Pot 2 are drawn first and placed into the first available positions. Once both unseeded teams have been drawn, the 2 Pot 1 teams complete the playoff pairs. The Pot 1 teams will host the second leg matches. The second draw determines the League B/C playoff pairings, which consist of the 4 teams ranked 3rd in League B and the 4 runners-up of League C. The teams from League B are seeded and form Pot 1, and the teams from League C form Pot 2. Again, the unseeded teams from Pot 2 are drawn first. The Pot 1 teams, hosting the second leg match, then complete the playoff pairings. The third playoff draw for League A/B takes place between the 3rd ranked teams of League A and the runners-up of League B. The teams from League A are seeded and placed in Pot 1, and the teams from League B form Pot 2. The draw is conducted in the same way. The 4th and final draw determines the composition of the League A knockout stage. The quarterfinals are contested between the group winners and runners-up of League A, followed by the finals to determine the winners of the 4th edition of the UEFA Nations League. To draw the quarter-final pairings, the group winners are seeded in Pot 1. The runners-up form Pot 2 and are drawn first. The Pot 1 teams are drawn subsequently, with the restriction that group winners cannot be drawn against the runner-up they already faced during the league phase. If a group winner is drawn against the runner-up of its group, it will be placed into the first available pairing, taking into account other possible clashes to be avoided in the remaining pairings. For the draw of the semi-finals, another pot is prepared, containing 4 placeholders that represent the quarter-final winners. The placeholder drawn first is the home team of semi-final pairing A. The second team drawn is the home team of semi-final pairing B. The placeholder drawn in 3rd position is the away team of semi-final pairing A, and the last placeholder drawn completes semi-final pairing B. Following the draw, UEFA will issue the fixture list. The quarterfinals take place in March 2025, and the 4 winners advance to the finals in June. The League A/B and B/C playoffs take place in March 2025, and the League C/D playoffs 1 year later in March 2026. The winners of the respective playoff ties will participate in the higher league in the next UNL edition.
All right, the technical procedure has been shared. I hope all of that is clear. Just before we hand over to Giorgio and Johan, let's take a look at the teams that are participating in the League C/D playoffs.
So we have seen the teams, everything is ready. As you've understood, we start with the playoffs, and we start with the Leagues C, D playoffs. Our procedure will draw first the unseeded teams because they will play at home the first leg. So there will be unseeded teams versus seeded teams, and for this reason we start with pot 2. Johan, I would leave the job to you. I just shuffle.
Yes.
And you can deliver the first team, which will be the first team named in playoff 1.
Gibraltar.
Gibraltar. So Gibraltar, second placed behind the stunning San Marino and their group. Gibraltar is the first team of playoff 1, and now we see, of course, we empty the pot number 2 and we place this team in playoff 2.
Malta.
This is, of course, Malta. Malta that conceded only 2 goals in their 4 league phase matches. Malta is in the second playoff. Johan, I think we can shuffle here, and you go. And we start forming the pairings, starting with the pairing of Gibraltar.
So he's strong again.
They're afraid of Gibraltar.
Latvia.
Latvia. So first playoff between C and D leagues is Gibraltar versus Latvia. We're ready, obviously, to complete the 2 playoffs, Gibraltar versus Latvia, and therefore Malta versus
Luxembourg.
Malta versus Luxembourg. So these are the 2 pairings, the 2 ties that will play not in March 25, but in March 26.
Thank you, gentlemen. We have a quick recap of these 4 teams that have been drawn in the League C-D playoffs. We'll have Gibraltar taking on Latvia and Malta facing Luxembourg. We're done with step 1. Many more to come. We are now focusing our attention on League B and C. Here are the teams.
So here we go with the pot with leagues B and C, and the teams in the pots are pot 1, Georgia, Iceland, Republic of Ireland, Slovenia, and in pot 2, Armenia, Bulgaria, Kosovo, and Slovakia. And this is exactly the pot we're going to start with. Pot number 2 of the League BC playoffs.
Kosovo.
Kosovo is the first team of the first playoff. It was their 3rd successive participation in this League C, and now they have a chance to be promoted. Let's see who's the first team of the second playoff now.
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. Now it's the turn of Bulgaria. 4 clean sheets in 6 matches for Bulgaria. They are first named in playoff number 2. We're ready. Nyon, you can draw the third team for the third playoff. Bulgaria played already once in League B, 2020-21.
Armenia.
And now we go with Armenia, which won successive promotions in the first 2 Nations League editions, moving from D to B. And Armenia is playoff number 3, of course, so only one team is left in pot 2. They will take first position in playoff 4.
Slovakia.
That is Slovakia. Slovakia preparing to host the Under-21 tournament in June of 2025. But in the meantime, they will have a tough job in this playoff to try to secure promotion. We're ready to know the pairings now for these 4 playoffs. Kosovo, Bulgaria, Armenia, Slovakia. In this order, they are waiting for their opponents. First opponent facing Kosovo.
Iceland.
Iceland. So Kosovo will face Iceland, third behind Wales and Turkey in their group. Never been lower than this League B. Iceland, once even in League A. So Kosovo, Iceland, first playoff, B versus C. Second playoff, we'll see Bulgaria facing this team.
Republic of Ireland.
So Bulgaria versus Republic of Ireland. So both will come together this March. So for Republic of Ireland, it was the second time, second successive participation in League B. Now to have another one, obviously, they will have to overcome Bulgaria in March.
Georgia.
Georgia will travel to Armenia for the first leg of this playoff, Armenia versus Georgia. They started in League D. They won promotion in 2 of the previous 3 seasons. And I think the peak of Georgia was the participation in the Euro 2024, where they had extremely good performances.
Slovenia.
And finally, it will be Slovakia versus Slovenia. Slovenia third behind England and Greece in their group. So this is all.
Yeah, definitely, Giorgio. Thank you very much. 8 teams drawn as part of the League B C playoffs. The results are in, and they pit Kosovo against Iceland. It'll be Bulgaria taking on Republic of Ireland, Armenia facing Georgia, and Slovakia taking on Slovenia. We're now going to move on to the League A and B playoffs. Here are the teams that we will be drawing next.
League A-B playoffs. Pot 1 seeded teams from League A, Belgium, Hungary, Scotland, Serbia. Pot 2 from League B, Austria, Greece, Turkey and Ukraine. Everything's ready. Also here, Nyon. Thank you again. You can start. First unseeded team from pot 2.
Turkey.
So we go with Turkey. First team drawn, playoff number 1, second behind Wales. It will be the first time if they win the playoff for Turkey to be in this League A. We go the second playoff.
Ukraine.
Ukraine. So Ukraine, League A already in 2020-2021 for Ukraine. They are the first team of this playoff number 2. We're ready. Only 2 teams have to take position before we can establish the pairings.
Austria.
And now it is Austria for playoff number 3. They participated in League A in 22-23. Runners up behind Norway. And let's go with the playoff number 4.
Greece.
Greece coming from the group, a strong group where England were the winners, but Greece won at Wembley, so great performance, historic result for Greece. And this is the lineup of the first teams of the 4 playoffs. Nyon, I'll shuffle the balls, and you set the pairings starting with Turkey.
Hungary.
So first match will be Turkey versus Hungary. Hungary were third in their group behind Germany and the Netherlands, winning back-to-back promotions from League C and League B in 18-19 and in 2021. Now it's the turn of the second playoff where the drawn team is Ukraine. This is the opponent of Ukraine.
Belgium.
Ukraine versus Belgium. Belgium from the League A group with France and Italy. Always been in League A in the 4 editions. And to remain in League A, they will need to be better than Ukraine in March 25. Now, who is for Austria?
Serbia.
Austria versus Serbia. Serbia had also 2 promotions in the previous 3 seasons. Started in League C, and now to remain in League A they will need to overcome Austria. Only 1 draw is needed to complete the playoffs before we move on with the quarterfinals of League A.
Scotland.
So this will be Greece versus Scotland. Also Scotland had 2 promotions in 3 seasons, and Greece versus Scotland closes the League A-B playoffs.
It does indeed. Let's have a quick look back at the results of the draw. We'll have Turkey taking on Hungary, Ukraine facing Belgium. It'll be Austria versus Serbia, and Greece against Scotland. Some great matches to look forward to, no doubt about that. All right, the playoffs are done, but still plenty more to come. Time now to shine the light on the teams that have dreams of winning the 2024-25 edition of the UEFA Nations League, and this beautiful trophy right next to me. 8 teams harbor hopes of succeeding Portugal, France and Spain as champions. Giorgio, over to you for the quarter-finals draw in just a moment. Let's have a look at the teams who will be drawing up next.
So here we go with the final moment of our draw. Now we are drawing the quarterfinals of League A. This is the only draw with conditions, and I remind you that the conditions that the winners and the runners-up of the same group cannot fall together, which means that if we happen to have a draw where the winner and the runner-up of the group are drawn together, the winner will be moved to the next pairing, also taking into account the possible clashes in the following rounds. But our computer will guide us in this respect, of course. We go again with pot 2 first, and then with pot 1. Pot 1 consists of Germany, France, Portugal and Spain, while in pot 2 we have Croatia, Denmark, Italy and the Netherlands. So we are ready also here, and I would ask Johan again to go with the 4 group runners-up: Croatia, Denmark, Italy and Netherlands.
Netherlands.
So the Netherlands take position in quarterfinal number 1. They were runners-up in 2019 and 4th place last time in the draw in the tournament, which was hosted by them in their country. Currently runner-up behind Germany, which means that they will not face Germany in the quarterfinals.
Croatia.
Now it's Croatia. Croatia behind Portugal in the group, runners-up in 2023, the last edition, at the final played in Rotterdam. Fantastic match, really emotional, 120 minutes, penalties. Quarterfinal 3.
Denmark.
And that's for Denmark. So Denmark will take position in quarterfinal 3, of course aiming to reach the Nations League finals for the first time. It never happened before, and we are only one team which is in the pot before we start discovering who will play who.
Italy.
And that's Italy, of course, quarterfinal 4. Italy were finalists, or participating in the final 4 twice, 21-23. Both times Italy were 3rd at the end. So we're ready: Netherlands, Croatia, Denmark, Italy in the order. And now we look for their opponents. First team drawn.
Spain.
Netherlands versus Spain. So Netherlands versus Spain. So the title holders of Spain, they can play, of course, because they didn't play together in the group. So Netherlands versus Spain is quarterfinal 1. We go second quarterfinal, Croatia versus one of these 3 teams, which cannot be Portugal, of course.
Portugal.
And Portugal cannot be, which means that Portugal is moved to the next quarterfinal. So Portugal will face Denmark in quarterfinal 3. And then now we are going to draw a team for Croatia, bearing in mind that France cannot play Italy in quarterfinal 4.
France.
Croatia versus France. The winners of 21 is quarterfinal 2, which means that we need only one draw to complete the lineup of these quarterfinals. All incredible matches, showing the best of the strength of European football.
Germany.
And that is, of course, Italy versus Germany, a match which will certainly remember all football fans of many of these matches played in the past, in tournaments, Euros, World Cups, everywhere.
Wow, exciting stuff. And we'll go through the results of the quarter-final draw for the UEFA Nations League. The Netherlands are taking on Spain. It'll be Croatia versus France. Denmark against Portugal, and Italy against Germany. But we're not done yet, Giorgio. We've got one final draw to go to make the path completely clear until the final.
One more to go, exactly, because we will need to know, even if we don't know who qualifies for the semi-finals, but we draw today who plays who in semi-finals, and we do it by drawing the winners of the four quarter-finals against each other. We adopt the same system, so we will first draw the teams for semi-final 1 and then for semi-final 2, and then we will draw their opponents. So the first two teams go respectively. Yes. Oh, I shuffle.
Thank you, Giorgio.
I shuffle for you.
Thank you.
I'm here to assist. And this team will be the first team of semi-final A, or the pairing A of semi-finals.
Winner, quarterfinal 4.
Winners of quarter-final 4, it is Italy or Germany playing against, we don't know, but the next team, the next quarter-final drawn will be in the other semi-final. So we draw the first team of pairing B.
Winner, quarterfinal 1.
Winners of quarter-final 1, which means that Netherlands or Spain will be in the other semi-final. And now let's see who will be the opponents of Italy or Germany in the first of the two pairings.
Winners, quarterfinal 3.
Winners of quarter-final 3, so that's Denmark or Portugal, will have to take on the winners between Italy and Germany. Nyon, please draw the last ball, so we make sure that everything we've done was perfectly correct.
Winners, quarterfinal 2.
The quarter-final 2 means that Netherlands or Spain will play against Croatia and France, and this is all for today.
It is indeed, but it's been a busy time here at the desk. 5 draws, a lot to take in, of course, as the results are in now also for the semi-finals. So all the teams know what their path is to try to win this trophy right here in this 4th edition of the UEFA Nations League. If you want to start marking your calendars, you can do so. The first legs of the League A, B and League BC playoffs, as well as the League A quarterfinals, will take place on March 20th, with the return legs then scheduled for the 23rd of March. The finals, you can start looking ahead to that, will take place from June 4th to June 8th, where the 4th UEFA Nations League champions will be crowned. And like Giorgio mentioned, there is, of course, the other playoff from League C and D, which will only take place in 2026. That'll be on the 26th and 31st of March of that year. I think that'll do it, gentlemen. Well done. Johan and Giorgio, as always, it's been a pleasure to host all of you here at the House of European Football in Nyon. See you soon. Good luck for the remainder of this season's competition. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.